Good afternoon and a very welcome to another Thursday Live. Maestro has been sitting here the entire day waiting for this very moment to arrive. I'm not sure if he has sentiment around the couch that we are about to paint today, or if he just likes it. Now, to give you some background, this was actually a furniture piece in our house when I grew up. Today my mom sent me a message to say she bought it together with 2 chairs as a set when I was 14 years old. And today I am actually going to, together with Maestro, be Tjhokoing it for our Pinktober Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I think this is something very special for all the ladies that are currently watching. We are all women. And never can one say that this is not something that can happen to me. No one is actually safe to say that something like breast cancer will not knock on their doors. And as women, we should be the ones that support each other, and as a Tjhoko community, it's something that we do and that I'm extremely proud about. We support, we uplift, we motivate, we encourage, and that is so beautiful to be part of such a community. But I think if we as women, especially us that's so authentic in this, can almost be the trendsetters in society to ensure that the young girls respect one another, they motivate one another. They should be able and should freely tell one another, you look pretty today. I like the lipstick that you are wearing. To actually be a society and a community of ladies that support one another. How beautiful will it be if we can freely tell one another, you look beautiful, you are beautiful, you create beautiful things. Because at the end of the day, we as women are the pillars of society. We are responsible of raising our children. We are the ones that juggle so many balls from day to day, whether it's our personal lives, business lives, family life, and we are able to keep all these things in the air, to be creative, to multitask. And if we can be the kind, healthy, supportive pillars that society needs, we will have a healthy and supportive and caring society with communities that look after one another and little girls that will grow up to be beautiful women. So and it's actually something that's very dear to my heart and close to my heart. May October be a month where us as women actually reflect on the things that make us special. May we spread kindness, and may our eyes and hearts be open to touch lives where support and encouragement is needed. Okay, so today we are going to be painting onto this couch, the varnished area, but also the upholstered surface. And this is not something that I'm going to keep in my house, because this month we are focusing on Pinktober in collaboration with Tjhoko Paint and Cricut. And I will explain and show you what I've done with the amazing Cricut tools that I've been given. It's absolutely amazing. I've had so much fun over the weekend, and I'll share all of that with you soon. So how this works is we are actually challenging you, and if you are living in a different part of the world and you don't have a cancer society there with you, the Cancer Association of South Africa does amazing work. So reach out to societies and communities within your own community that does community work for cancer patients during the month of October. What we are going to do in South Africa is we are going to upcycle furniture pieces. sponsor them to cancer so that they can sell it and make a profit out of it. And this is a challenge to everyone. I'm starting today. Next week, Thursday, I won't be able. I just want to take a sip of my coffee. My mouth is so dry. Next week, Thursday, I won't be able to have a Thursday live, but we will continue on Saturday together with Sharon Wellman to actually do finish the upholstered surface. And then when this is done, we will take it to cancer in our close to where we live, and we will sponsor it to them. Now, I challenge you, everyone out there, to do exactly the same. They do amazing work. They help, and the work they do goes beyond any words and actions that I have ever seen. So the competition ends on the 31st of October, and you need to, whatever you create, you need to share with us on our Tjhoko Paint Facebook page or our Tjhoko Creations Facebook group with the hashtag Paint, Create, Donate. And please tag Kansa, Tjhoko, and Cricket whenever you do this. Okay, now for the fun and the creativity to start. I'm going to work with 3 colors on this furniture piece, on the wooden section. And these colors are, and I'm also going to work with them in this exact order, is Super Sunette, Soulful Sanita, and then lastly Cloud White. So what I'm doing, so if you want to use different colors, I do want to achieve a very natural tone. But if you want to achieve the same look but maybe with different colors, very important for this technique is to work from darkest color to your lightest color. Throughout the session, I'm also going to share some useful tips and tricks and ideas. Now, very important when it comes to painting of varnished surfaces. So we all like to apply furniture polish to our varnished surface, and this polish residue, top coat of furniture polish, needs to be removed. And the only way to do that is by wiping your surface clean, almost washing it off with lacquer thinners. So you will see that the varnish is still here. I have just removed the polish residue from the top. Now, many times we hear that the men don't like us painting furniture pieces because there's sentiment to wood. I also love wood. And just to know that you are not actually damaging your wood, I'm not going to sand and remove the varnish coating. So what the varnish does, it actually preserves the wood. All the oils and nourishment that the wood needs not to dry out is trapped underneath the varnish coat. I am simply going to paint Tjhoko on top of my varnish. So at no point will my wood dry out or get damaged, because this is a thin coat of paint that I apply on top of my varnish coating, and at any point in time when trends change or you want to change the look or feel, you can simply either sand it off or remove it with something like a paint stripper. So now you know that you cannot damage your wood. Sometimes what does happen is furniture bleed. Now, when does that happen? When you start painting and then you see yellow blotches of paint, yellow blotches of oil appearing on top of your paint, through your paint. And this happens mostly when the varnish coating of your surface is compromised due to the time that it has been on your surface. We find it many times with old pieces of furniture where the varnish is so old and the varnish is not in good condition. The hairline cracks can't always be seen. It isn't visible, it's microscopic, but it's there. And because of that instability of your varnish coat, the oil that's inside the wood can seep through, and then you find furniture bleed. And how we treat that is we use our clear glaze. Please go check out on our website, our YouTube channel, Tjhoko Paint, the guide with our how-to video series on how we explain step by step how to treat that bleed. It's cost effective, it's easy, everything with regards to the Tjhoko range is water-based, eco-friendly, non-toxic. Okay, now I'm going to start. So I have cleaned it already with my lacquer thinners, very important, more than once, to remove the furniture polish on here. What I have done next, I have allowed for the thinners to evaporate properly. So it was cleaned with the lacquer thinners. It was, there was time allowed for the thinners to dry and to evaporate. And I now am going to start with a paint technique. Now I'm going to start with my darkest color, and I do want to show you how little paint I actually use. I don't want the entire brush to be full of paint. I'm using something like a kitchen towel. I remove excess, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to do a dry brush. So I want to apply a very thin coat of paint on my surface to very subtly cover it. So there's hardly paint on my brush, so little, and I'm just brushing. Okay, something or a technique that will look similar to this, but on a surface that was sanded down, will be something like whitewash. But if you want to accomplish a whitewash look on a varnished surface, this is the best way of achieving it. So it's not a solid paint coat, it's very thin. So tip, if you are working with stencils and you have the plastic sleeve that we package the stencils in, and you put the paint onto that sleeve while you paint, it actually keeps the paint nice and wet, and then you use even less. Okay, so I'm just dry brushing, so I'm starting with Super Sonette, and it's a very thin, imperfect brush coat. I will now do the same on the areas everywhere where there's some wood that is exposed. So it's dry brush, it's not a solid coat of paint. And on the legs. Okay, so the same principles will apply for the entire furniture piece, but I do want to show you how quick and effortless this is. I'm working on the Tjhoko waterproof sheets. They are just amazing. So I know everything is waterproof. I can also use it as a rag to just remove excess paint. And I just make sure everywhere is evenly brushed. Okay, now I'm going to continue with the next color, which is Soulful Sanita. I just love the new colors in our range. They are absolutely beautiful. Now Sanita is the more neutral edition. It's a off-white color. There's hardly anything left in this jar, but you hardly need anything. Look how little paint you need to achieve this look. There's hardly paint on my brush, and I'm even going to remove more. And now with dry brush streaks, I'm going over Super Sonette. There you can see I'm working from my plastic tray, and because of the plastic coat, the paint takes longer to dry, so you waste very little paint. Okay, let me do, while that dries, let me do the arms, armrest, and then also the feet. And this is so much fun. Maestro has been waiting all day to see this transformation happening. Okay, and now the legs. And I really don't want to get too much paint on my brush, so the spoon works like a charm to make sure there's just enough. Swanette Veldsman sent me a video on her sanding technique, which I can't wait to share with everyone, but that I will only do on Saturday. But she sent me that video after midnight. So Swanette, thank you for that. And now I'm not even going to use it today because I decided to do this dry brush technique, and then that I'm going to use on a different section of this piece. I really appreciate your effort. Okay, so I just make sure that everything is neat. That needs to dry a bit, so that actually just before I start applying the cloud white, that is just properly dry. But while that is drying, I just want to, okay, so can you see here, I have actually brushed off too much of my paint, and I just want to add some paint again. So I start with Super Sonette, dry brush that on. Maestro has stories to tell and to share. He's a very verbal maestro. We do need to understand his language. It's something that I really would love to understand what Maestro has to say. He's very talkative and has opinions on everything. Okay, so while that is drying, I'm going to share the next technique with you. So we do want to change the upholstery, right? What we always say is when we paint on upholstery, it's not a permanent fix, it's a quick fix. I do not have the finances maybe to upholster it now, but I do have Tjhoko and I do have some time. And then whenever you have budget to reupholster, then you do it. But instead of this be standing in the garage, it can be something that you can use and that you can find use for through just painting it and make it aesthetically beautiful. So how am I going to do this? I am going first step. So I'm going to do some investigations, right? Which I have done already. So firstly, you need to make sure that the fabric that you are going to paint on is natural woven fabric. So it doesn't have a shimmer to it. It's not polyester. You can see it's natural. Okay, that's the first very important tip. Then you need to make sure that the foam inside, on the inside, is nice. The foam needs to be nice and firm. If the couch or the furniture piece, if there's going to be too much movement in the foam, paint can only stretch to a certain point, and then hairline cracks will appear. I know what Maestro wants. I'm actually, just give me a second to solve this. I have never had the opportunity to finish my own coffee. Maestro. That is what he's asking. He wants coffee. Okay. What I'm going to do, Okay, this is a tip for you at home. If you want to paint upholstery, remember that paint will change the texture and the feel of the fabric. And this is something that you need to make peace with. So on the bottom of the furniture piece, or wherever you can find an area of the fabric that's not visible, first test to make sure that you like the feel and the texture of the paint on the fabric. Okay, that's very important. If you don't like it, don't paint it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet the fabric with, you can use a spray bottle. I don't have one now. So I'm going to use water and a sponge. As you can see, this has been standing in my garage, but I'm going to give it new meaning. So this is the very basic first step. What now will happen is your paint will actually just move easier to prevent thick areas of paint that will also contribute to the change of texture. So you actually want to apply as thin coats of paint as possible. I'm going to work with the color Cloud White. I haven't rinsed my paintbrush, but that's fine. And let me just remove that. Here on my surface, I'm going to paint. So what the wetness does, it actually, you can see how easy the paint flows. You will apply such a thin coat of paint on your surface, and that is exactly what you do want to achieve. Okay, so now depending on the darkness of your fabric, you will apply 2 to 3 coats. And depending on how wet it is, so there's a few factors that will actually determine the amount of coats needed. Now this is, remember, this is a quick fix and a creative fix. And the most important part is to actually have fun. Was it nice, Maestro? Are you now happy? Have you had your coffee? My coffee. Okay, so this is the first step. I am now going to make sure I'm going to complete the entire area by painting it exactly as I have shown now. So all the areas covered in fabric will be chocolate with Cloud White. On Saturday we are going to continue this live, and then Sharon will assist me to create something beautiful and easy onto the fabric, and something that you will be able to duplicate and replicate yourself. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, there is some Cloud White on my brush, but my brush is wet. So I'm just going to dry it with a kitchen towel. And then the last color that I'm going to add is Cloud White, the same color that we've painted the fabric in, and I'm going to dry brush again. So this creates like a French look. You use little paint. It's quite simple and easy to achieve, and it still gives a very natural look and feel to your surface. I use my hands wherever I just want to blend the colors together, that there's no streakiness. This is so much fun. And in an instance, you have a piece with a beautiful, beautiful finish. What I do is I actually brush hard on this side of my paintbrush on the edges. So without even having to use sandpaper, I create a very natural wooden look. You can see the timber revealing itself only on those edges. This is authentically French chic and very easy to achieve. And there it's done. And I'll just do the same on all the other areas. It looks like the wood was washed, but it's not. Thin coats of paint, very little paint. If I were to say that I've used less than a spoon of paint for everything that I've done now, I'm not even over-exaggerating. Okay, so yeah. And the fact that you see the different colors revealing itself contributes to the authenticity of the technique. There's just something in the wood, and I'll just sand that away. Okay. How stunning is this? And I promise you it is very rewarding. Once you start, you actually just want to find wooden furniture in your house that you can paint in a second. Okay, this is done. Now I can just rub harder while the paint is still wet. Once this has dried, you won't be able to do this on the areas where there's some crevices or where there's raised detail, just to create that authenticity of it looks French, and hide if you want to hide. How stunning is this? Okay, now next. Okay, so the fabric we will continue on Saturday once this first coat is hand dry, meaning when I touch it and there's no paint on my hand, I will repeat the process without having to wet it again, but simply paint over that. Okay, now to show you what I have done with the Cricut machine, before I continue to that, I do want to mention that you don't need to cover what you have already painted with anything. Tjhoko has a built-in primer, a built-in sealer. It's done. If you are happy with the result, you leave it as is. Also, I just going to take this piece of sandpaper. If you want to actually sand even more to create that shabby chic look and feel, it's up to you. I'm going to show, and then you can decide whether or not you want to use. So this is a 320 grit piece of sandpaper, and then you can decide if you want to sand more to reveal more wood, or do you want to leave it as is. Don't try to sand when the paint is completely dry. It will be more difficult to do so. You will be able to sand, but it's easier to sand while it hasn't cured properly. So there you can see the subtle change and the very subtle areas of wood that reveals. Okay, now I'm going to share with you just take Maestro's mug out of the way. What I've been up to this weekend with a cricket machine. Now, technology is not one of my strong points. And I was very, to be honest, concerned when I took these machines out of the boxes and Tjhoko, our son, already went back to varsity. So he wasn't here to assist in the assembly or the setup, but it actually was such an easy process. There are numerous videos on the cricket YouTube channel and the website that explains step by step how to do the setup. The designs are beautiful, and once you start, it's like anything in the creative world, you don't want to stop. Because when you have fun, then you know it's when the creativity starts flowing. So I am still going to go for my training, and I don't want to do cricket any injustice. So the moment I've completed my training, I will show you step by step how to use it. I'm just afraid I might show something that I'm doing incorrectly. That is the machine, and this is the press. And then what I have done, you know, in my spare time, I'm a whale caller. Look at this beautiful pillowcase with a fabric vinyl that was pressed onto the fabric. And then what I'm busy with is to just color all the areas where there's still white. There you can see I'm still busy painting with Tjhoko. So also, once again, because of the fact that the fabric is natural woven fabric, I can paint onto it. Once I am done, I can even use the heat press of cricket or a hot iron, and I can just iron it at the back to heat set the paint. The vinyl is done already. So the ironing at the end will just be to ensure that the paint is heat set. And there is some mugs that we've done with the same machine and a different fabric that is meant for water bottles, or you can even use it outside to apply as a decal on your vehicle. Okay, so cricket is doing the Pinktober initiative with Tjhoko Paint, and we are very delighted to be in collaboration with them for this beautiful and authentic course. I will show during Saturday how we finish the fabric, but please try this technique. You will see it is a very, very simple, effortless way to cover a varnished surface. You use little paint, it's just thin coats of paint, it's easy and it's effortless. I have a desk that I also want to tackle very soon. Okay, so this is the tutorial for today. Something that is exciting and that's happening soon on the 26th of October in collaboration with Cricket and Tjhoko, we have the Craft a Lot workshop. And follow our social pages and also Cricket to see, C-R-I-C-U-T. Let me show you how it's spelled, okay? Cricket, just for those that don't know. Maybe someone thinks I'm referring to the sport where there's a bat and a ball being used. It's not. It's the craft way of doing things cricket. So on the 26th of October, in collaboration with Cricket and Tjhoko, we have a Craft a Lot workshop. It's a digital workshop. Please follow our social pages as well as Cricket's to see when and where and how. You can purchase everything that you need to do the workshop with us virtually that day through Tjhoko, but details will be shared on our socials. Do you have a question, Kaylee? There's a question, I'm listening.
What time are you going to paint this furniture piece on Saturday?
So we're starting at 9 o'clock on Saturday, but you do need to give us time because we need to boil the kettle and make sure that I've had coffee and Maestro. So let's say by 10, we will be ready to start the process. But remember, all these videos are being shared on our YouTube channel, and they stay on Facebook. So if you cannot view it as and when it happens, it will be there for you to view later. But we will show them the completion of the process, which I cannot wait to do. I said to Sharon, I'm going to motor the last 2 admin days of this week, knowing that Saturday is a creative day. Now, something that I do want to share with everyone is the message for the week. And something that we have shared this week internally as a team is authenticity. To remain true to yourself, to be authentic. And I think with the theme of Pinktober, this is something that we all can carry in our hearts. Authenticity, to remain true to yourself, and to have fun. Even when you think it's not possible to have fun in the moment, just seek for those moments. Life is too short not to have moments filled with fun and joy. So thank you for watching. Please share your creations for Pinktober with us. And I will also make sure that during this month, I do and paint more to share some creativity with you. Keep well, stay safe, and remember, take care and stay true to yourself. Bye. And now Maestro is behaving. Maestro at the end of everything. Okay, so if you just knew all the effort that we've been into to actually get ourselves ready, because it's Saturday, Kaylee is not here. So we are actually our own filming crew. With me, next to me, is the amazing Sharon Wellman. Do I pronounce your surname correctly?
Yeah.
She is not only a lovely friend, we also work closely together, and she is a person that absolutely inspires. She has immense creativity, and she is so willing to share her talent with everyone. Sharon, thank you to offer your Saturday to come and assist me to do this project in collaboration with Cricket South Africa for the Cancer Association of South Africa, for our Pinktober drive that we're currently busy.
Thanks, Nadine. Thanks for the kind words.
So we have started earlier this week painting this old piece of furniture that I actually grew up with. So I will share soon a newspaper article where I am actually sitting on this when I was 14 years old for an interview in the, I think it was the Herald for Orkney. So those are my roots, the Platteland in the Northwest Province. So October is known for the month that we celebrate cancer survivors, especially breast cancer survivors, but also the struggle that women face when they are diagnosed with breast cancer. And as being women, we know that we actually are so special. I've mentioned it on Thursday as well. If you think of women in a society, they are the ones that care, that educate, that bring up children, that need to ensure that our children are mentally healthy, physically healthy. There's so much responsibility on women. And if us as women can form a community where we sincerely care about one another, and also carry one another, doesn't matter when it's times that things are going great and well, but also the times when things are more difficult. So we are celebrating the breast cancer survivors, but also the ones that are facing the struggle. And struggle almost sounds negative. I want to say this is going to be something that you are just going to, from today on, have the courage to fight. And whenever it feels as if that courage is disappearing, just feel it in your heart and soul that there are so many women that is willing to carry you through this. and reach out if you need encouragement. We will be here to support and to take your hand and be a shoulder and just be the strength that you need in times when you don't have that. So today, as part of that inspiration, we are going to complete our couch that we are going to sponsor to a cancer association close to where we live. What we have done already is we've painted the wood, and there's still some touch-ups and some places that, you know, those snags that we need to complete right at the end, which we will. But the fabric has received a first and some places a second coat, because life also happens. We're all busy and we do have day jobs. The first process is, Sharon, maybe you must share the inspiration with them. Are you comfortable sitting like that?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
This being Pinktober, we've decided this is the piece that I found we're going to do on the seat of the bunkie, or should I say Maestro's bed.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do, this looks daunting, but it's going to be very simple to follow along for those who aren't, or who say they aren't autistic. We've all got an autistic bone inside of us. We just have to dig a little bit deeper. So these are just literally brush strokes of our different pinks and greens. So that will go on as the final on the seat part, and maybe a little bit up into the buttoned area.
Okay, so what we are going to start with, thank you, that is beautiful inspiration. I am so looking forward to actually see how to do the brush strokes, and it will be such an easy technique that anyone can follow through. We will also share the inspiration pictures so that you have it as a reference. The first step that we are going to start with is to do a wash technique on the bunkie. What in English, is this a couch? What do you actually call this?
Well, being South African, bunkie, but I think sofa.
Sofa.
Or
Yeah.
a little, yeah.
Okay.
Bench, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a background that we're going to create with two Tjhoko colors, one being Ishmael's Ish, and the other one being Soulful Sanita. Now, to achieve this, we actually want to create like a mottled look and feel on the background, that it's not that flat. So currently it's just white, okay, painted in cloud white. We can go about in various ways of achieving that mottled look. One being dry brush technique, like we've shown with the first video, to achieve the look on the wood with brushes. So these are just paint brushes that I quickly got from my garage. Or you can also use rags, okay? But very important to achieve a mottled look is to actually dampen your rag or to wet it. So I just have normal tap water in a bowl, just normal cold water, doesn't matter if it's hot. If you are living in an area where it's currently chilly, just make sure that your water can be warmer. And these are just rags that I got from my kitchen. I'm dampening them, but I'm also squeezing out any excess moisture. And then I'm going to add, I just have spoons, just not to contaminate my paint. So I'm just dripping some paint on my damp cloth. And what you actually want to achieve is you want to wash the surface with a paint color. So I'm distributing the paint into my damp rag. So it's actually dirty with paint. So same principles as the previous video. We start with darkest color first, and then we gradually move to lighter colors. We don't want the background to be the hero of our project, because Sharon's beautiful flowers will actually be the hero part. This is just for a subtle mottled look at the back. I'm also, for safety's sake, just wet a paintbrush. It can be any paintbrush, because this is not going to be a perfect paint project. It's actually texture and technique. In the Ishmael's ish as well, just to have it and remove excess paint, just to have it with me if I need to fix anything or if I need to work close to the areas where the piping of the upholstery is sitting. Now what I do is I fold my cloth like a ball in the palm of my hand, and very light pressure I apply to wash the background. And because of the fact that the fabric actually absorbs the paint, you can apply more to your cloth. And this is now the first, I'll bring the camera closer now. I just want to finish showing the process. This is now the first step to create that mottled look. But also the deeper you want, so you actually want to create an effect that is not flat, and the more coats and colors you apply, the more depth it actually creates. So I can even brush some paint on with my brush and wipe away with the rag. Now, Sharon, are you fine?
Yeah.
To go with this? And this is, have fun. You can't make a mistake. You can't footer it up, because if you want to change anything, you change it with paint colors. If you need to hide anything later, you can add white again. And this is actually just to have fun and to create some depth on your background. We are going to add lighter, Sulfur later. So you can hear it's a workout, because you are, Kaylee said, Mom, why did you sound so out of breath on Thursday? I said, Kaylee, did you see how much I had to move and speak? I would never be that person that can dance and sing on a stage.
Myself. Already dancing with things.
Yeah. Okay, so wet and wash. We are actually, okay, Sharon, there you go. I'm going to help you. I'm just going to move the camera closer so that the process makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's stunning. And digging with your hands. Become, actually, the part you're one with your project. This is so much fun. Okay, I'm moving closer so that the process makes sense to everyone. I'm not Kaylee, so I hope that I do the video work justice.
Right about a workout.
It is a workout.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone that's not doing these movements realize actually, and I think also the fact that you're using your arms actually adds to the workout part. Okay, what we can do now is to do the Soulful Sanita. Then you will see the immediate change
with
of
a clean rag, right?
yeah, a clean
Not the
wet
same
one,
one,
not the
otherwise
same
it
one.
blends.
So each color, Sharon, I'm so sorry for working on the floor. So each color, you actually use your own rag to prevent the colors from contaminating and just actually change into being one color.
Muddy.
Yeah, it will become muddy. My English will improve, Sharon. You
No,
need
you
to
do
come.
well.
You
Gosh.
need to come and paint more often with me.
Well, I think you're doing better than I would do in Afrikaans. Just what I love. Okay,
So
now,
although
are we going
it-
to tap or are we going to...
You do what you want. You are the creator. How stunning is that? So what Sharon does is she actually just taps onto the fabric. How stunning is
I don't know if they can see, but it's just very subtle, I think.
So it doesn't create mottled, it actually creates like a texture.
Yeah, almost like a little pattern. Let's see if it'll show up better here.
Maybe if you add more paint.
Yeah. One doesn't think how much it actually absorbs.
Yeah,
Forgot about the fabric absorption part.
yeah. And that's also why it's wiser to actually wash than to paint solid, because the fabric tends to absorb quite a lot of products, and we do want to. Oh, that's stunning. I'm not sure if this is visible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could also give it a bit of the old here and there.
Yeah, that's stunning. And you do want to create some darker patches and lighter patches.
Yeah.
It's stunning.
And also, don't you have to worry about the wetness here?
No.
So that it doesn't matter.
No,
You can model it and get it from there. Okay.
So because of the fact that it's not a solid brush stroke here, we would be able to blend it in perfectly.
Yeah.
And also because we are working with the same colors throughout.
Okay.
So what we are going to do next, and I just want everyone to sit and wait for us to finish that, we are going to wash the entire couch and also combine both the colors that we started with, being Ishmael's Ish and Soulful Sanita, so that there is a mottled background. And once that is done, how stunning does that look? We are going to start another live feed where we will show the process of adding the flowers with the loose brush strokes that Sharon will show us how to do. Okay, so we will be back soon. We will see you in a bit. And then also this will give you more or less a guidance of how much time is needed to complete this when you are two people working together. Okay, see you soon. All these videos will remain on our Facebook feed, and we will also share it afterwards to our Tjhoko Paint YouTube channel. Okay, see you later. Bye. Sharon, do you want to say bye?
So absorbed.
Are we back? We're back. Okay, we've tried our best to actually be strong, empowered women. Okay, so we are filming our own live. And if it wasn't for the glitch that we have encountered, we actually would have been here sooner. Okay, so we have washed the sofa behind us, as we have explained. We have also, so Sharon painted the buttons, and then with a damp rag, I actually blended in so that the buttons are completely covered. And then what we are going to do, just as a tip, especially if you are attempting something like this, please refer to our video that we have filmed on Thursday that explains all the ins and outs when it comes to painting fabric, how you should test, how you should decide whether or not to paint your fabric surface, and also to wet your fabric before start painting. What we are going to do, as I've mentioned earlier, this sofa grew up with me, so it's only 16 years old. And it has got some fluff on it. We don't actually want the fluff to impact the beautiful art that Sharon will be doing on it, but I was also thinking, if you are painting and you actually want to create a smoother finish, it is wise to sand in between coats while the paint is still a little bit damp or once it has dried. Also, Toinette, this is something that she has actually mentioned, but we will also share a different technique that Toinette Feldman does. Not in this video, but later. It's something very exciting that I do want to show you what can be done with sandpaper. So the piece of sandpaper that I have in my hands is 320 grit. There's fluff on the sofa. It will be difficult to see it on the camera, so you just need to take my word for it. And I'm just going to give it a light sand just to remove it and also to create some evenness and smoothness on my surface. And Sharon is my witness. It almost in an instance creates a very smooth finish. I also think this will impact the feel of furniture. I said to Michelle yesterday I might have to paint 2 of them. Just to make sure that Maestro also has got it. Okay, so just for those that haven't seen the previous video of today, we are doing this as a Pinktober initiative for Cancer Awareness Month in collaboration with Cricket South Africa and Cancer. And later I will also show you some cricket inspiration, maybe not in today's tutorial, the last little bits and bobs that I do want to add to this piece. But for now, it's Sharon's turn to actually guide us through creating art with very easy brush strokes on a surface. We are now doing it on fabric, but this can be done on a furniture piece, it can be done on a wall, it can be done on a canvas. So although our canvas is an item that we are busy creating for Cancer, this can be done anywhere where you wish to use this technique. Okay, Sharon, over and out to you.
Okay, thanks. So as discussed in the previous video, we're going to use this for inspo. I'll just bring it closer. You can see it's a very loose sort of wash technique, brush technique, so I think would be beautiful for this, and also for people who don't think they can paint a thing. This you can make mistakes, it doesn't matter. You know, most of us think, oh, we've got to be so perfect. No, we don't. So what I'm going to do is put a blob of this darkest. I'm going to work from dark to light. So I'm going to use some of our gorgeous Elegant Elandra, which is a beautiful red there. We have various, I don't know if you want to show the pinks maybe, all of our different colors that I'm going to be using today. It's
Can I put them here?
Yeah.
And this is your color palette, right? Okay, so I'm going to put it here, then you can maybe just show it there.
Okay. This is Tinky's Treat. Tiny little bit of real red just for some drama. Pretty's Pink. No, these things.
I'll say the name.
No,
Your eyes aren't on that sweetness.
Sweetness for the really lights.
Do you want to mention the yellows now, or will we do it later?
Well, let's do it all.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's John's Joy and Bright. So that's going to just be a little tiny bit for the center.
And then you have Elegant Elandra.
Yeah.
I don't have any.
Okay, that's fine. So then I'll do the greens later. Probably use Maestro, Frux, Demisa, something, whatever we find in the box here. So I have now these little, what do you call these, polystyrene things, because you can throw them away. So I'm all about not having to clean up too much. So I'm going to take this kind of brush. You can even use for the bigger areas anything, any brush that's going to hold paint basically. So for a little bit more control, I'm going to use one of Nadine's, your bigger brushes. And we're going to just be having fun now. Don't be scared. It takes a slight amount of confidence. Just plonk down a sort of a dark shape. Don't be afraid now. There's no way you can make a mistake. I'm going to just pick up another color right there. I'm making the flowers big so that we don't have to be finicky with them. If you want to do more detail, and notice I'm using the paint neat. It's not with water or anything. So this here I'm using a softer brush just because this one tends to have a fuzzier outline. Not that it is even a problem. So sort of vague, don't panic because we're going to go over it. I'm going to leave this just a little bit to just firm up, because if you put the next brush stroke down, it's going to mix. And if some parts you want it, maybe if I plonk a bit of yellow in here, just to get that thing. So I don't even clean the brush, I just pick it up and I'm putting a little bit of yellow there. Looks like nothing now, don't panic. This is a process. I forgot we're also using Cloud White in the mix. That's just because, you know, you're going to lighten and darken. So I'm going to go here, make a smaller one of the dark. Same thing. Just sort of a, you know, a suggestion of. Don't panic. Goes quite quickly. Whoa, genade.
Luckily it's paint and we can
Well, we
fix
can
and
hide
fill and
it
hide.
and dye with some leaves in a spot, so don't panic there. I've made a bit of a blopsy, not an issue. I'm gonna maybe, because I think I'm gonna go up and around here. So let's make a smaller one here. I'm actually gonna mix some light pinks just to make this not so dark here. This one's gonna be a different one. Maybe a bit of a touch on the where it's going to be dark there. So you see there's no right or wrong.
It is actually one of those things where you can
Yeah.
just
Lose yourself in the moment.
Yeah, enjoy
creating. Yeah, I'm
freedom.
going now back over. So I'm going to just put a few petals kamstach. Yeah, over there. Doesn't have to be exact. I'll grab some of this dark pink.
So the main thing is to actually start with your darkest and then work
you
your
make a
way.
blob, and then you can add a white onto the end or whatever, just to bring out that floral-like vibe. Or even put in a much lighter petal, yeah. So it's all, I'm doing this intuitively because I'm just having fun. I'm not watching the picture. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I'm just going to paint and just enjoy the whole process. If you want them to be, you know, too neat, you're going to struggle.
This is not a realistic art
piece. This is a
piece.
suggestive.
Yeah.
It's just a way to, like, you know, you leave a few bits of darkness here and there, and if you want to come in with another bit, you can. And notice that's perfect. Be generous with the paint. Don't be like, and don't brush it. Put it down and go. Be confident. You're not going to mess it up. And if you do, you just paint right over it. Let's grab some more yellow here. Let's go here.
No judgment, okay? I am the videographer, and this is not my speciality at all.
Okay, Kaylee, we miss you.
Yeah, Kylie.
Next time you're going to have to ask my permission. Put a bit of red here just for some drama. Lana. Yeah. I'm really not fussed about perfection, as you can tell. And it's sometimes nice to just mix the colors on the actual canvas. Well, this is pretty much like canvas. I'm using the softer brush here on the edges. It just makes a neater edge. Not that I'm too panicked about that, but sometimes you just want that. So it's basically just put the brush down and you can even twirl it like that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, you can just do, you know how rose looks. It's got all kinds of things in it, depth and whatnot. So you're just turning your brush like that. And put some white on the edges there. And yeah, so we go. Then I'm going to just start with the sort of leaves. For that, I'm going to use a smaller little brush with my greens. So here I've probably got Denisa,
Let's get
a bit of Crooks. It wasn't a bit jellified. But anyway, I'm going to mix a sort of a green. Okay. So leaf is just put down. Make a leaf shape, and it doesn't even have to be a proper one. Add the green. Bit of white here and there. Doesn't have to be perfect. But I like to mix the stuff on the actual surface. Here I'm going to put a whole bunch going in there. Remember, something's darker, it's farther away. Lighter comes forward. So in here, it's going to be all dark. I'm going to put some green on the tips out here. And so I'm going to go here. I think I'll put a bit of a bud. We'll just have some little thingies. Remember, this doesn't have to look like the real thing. It's the idea of, I don't mind that the red is even mixing in
I
there.
love it.
Yeah. We want to make it go sort of, balanced out. So well, later when this is all dry, we can come and put some highlights and things like that. But for now, we're just going to put and get the basic first layer down. Because I'm not diluting it, and because there's a base layer, you're probably not going to need
a lot of paint.
Any other layers.
Yeah.
Sometimes when painting a wall, you might need 2 layers, but not for this. Shame, is your back handling this later?
I'm just worried that I don't do it properly. So, yeah.
Okay.
My back is perfectly fine.
Now I'm going to move there, so I don't have to stand a little bit. So, yeah, I need something.
Let me just get her.
You see how I'm just letting the brush do its thing? Obviously, you need nice brushes,
Yeah.
It's the same with everything. You're going to use horrible old things, you're going to get a horrible old result. I'm going to just let this go up here, just for something.
I like that.
Just so that it's part of the whole chair, not just going to stop on the sit bunk. We don't even have to go.
I'm going to show what it looks like so far.
Yeah, I'm going to put a little bit of a bud. Butter. Maybe a little stocky. Of course, the hair is getting in the way. We'll come and refine this all just now.
Yeah.
So don't worry.
I actually can imagine this on a wall, Sharon.
A big one. Like that. Yeah, with a nice
This is very
dark
inspiring.
background.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take, sorry, my back to the camera.
No, don't stress.
I'm going to just take some of this, what colour is this again?
Holiday
Holiday
Scarlet.
Scarlet. With white.
Yeah, that is
rather
stunning.
like this. Those are quite dark.
Okay.
Let's do a biggish one here. Well, not big, but all white. So I don't have any preconceived plan, but if you are that sort of person that needs to know where you're going with this, maybe you can do a rough one or get a picture you can actually copy.
I would be that person that would like to plan beforehand because I'm not you do this often. So obviously you already know from the experience you have what the outcome is going to be. But what would you recommend as the medium to plan your flowers first? Charcoal or pencil?
Or even just a blooming computer printout.
Okay.
Of the actual thing you're going to do. Just so that you know, okay. And even if you want to print it out in bits and pieces, cut it out and actually block it on with paper.
That is a clever idea, so that you can actually
sort of
plan
really
it.
get the whole
I love that.
idea. But of course, because I'm probably lazy.
No, but it's also something that you do all the time, so
I don't want
you
to.
are skilled with this.
Well, I don't want to spend my whole day just bloody planning, because I do that in my job.
Who do you work for where that is so important?
I wonder. So this is going to be an escape for me.
Sharon, I really love it. I actually love that holiday scarlet.
Yeah, it's just something.
It's also Kaylee's favorite.
Yeah, and with white, it just does something.
Yeah, it's stunning.
Yeah.
But also the darker flowers, the contrast, it's actually beautiful.
Yeah, if you wanted, you could probably pop a bit here and there just to bring it together. So it's not just all by itself. Oh yeah, I like that. It's like mooi.
It looks amazing. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's
And
coming
like you said,
and
it's a
quick.
process. And
Yeah.
you continue to build.
Yeah. So now I'm going to. Have you got a long skinny brush?
A long skinny brush in that thing, yeah. There's quite a few brushes.
At home I have a liner, which is a beautiful thing. Good grief.
What does it look like?
It's got a very long bristle.
Yeah.
That, and it
Oh,
holds
I saw.
tons of paint.
I saw it with the previous mural you did. Okay.
So now you can just put a few little, just subtle little things in there if you really want to get some
Detail
texture going. Yeah, I'll probably put a bit lighter.
Oh, sorry, that's me, Sharon. Okay. Sorry, everyone. That's the... If I was a camera person, I would have been fired right now.
Today I heard on the radio some ladies asking each other, what is something new that you've learned recently? Well, I can honestly say, making a live YouTube video up there on my list now.
You can put it on your resume.
I don't think I'm going to make it my day job.
I see that Michelle tried to phone me. I just hope it's not to say that I'm doing something wrong. Michelle, I'm giving it my best, right?
So you can see it gets a little bit of a rough edge there because of the kind of brush. When you use the
I saw
white
that
brushes,
brush.
I don't know what kind of hair it is, but the bristle brushes aren't as smooth. The paint lies on top. It doesn't really go in nicely, but it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Next time we will have like a tutorial on your brushes and your tools and what is
honestly,
important.
these are just the old cheapers because, yeah, I don't look after my brushes too well, unfortunately. Also to bear in mind, when you're using painting with a Tjhoko, it dries darker. So have that in the back of your mind as well. One shade darker, right?
Yeah.
So when you mix up a color, just know it's not going to be that color exactly when it's dry. It might be just a tad darker.
So you're adding some
yellow. Yeah, putting just a bit of here and there. If I put a bit of yellow into this whole mix here, I get more of a peach.
That is beautiful. It almost looks
Like
like
a fleshy color almost.
adorable. I mean, I just liked it. I actually have some there on the counter.
Okay.
I love that.
I'm going to also just put a few little dots of color here and there just to tie it in, because that's a thing. We can always make little blommetjes or something out of that. Just to fill up.
I love that color, Sharon, so much. It speaks to my soul.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, and then I'm going to take some green, mix it with here. And just what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to tie this whole design together, and I'm just grabbing any color that's there on the actual palette. And I'm just going to do like a little, oops, it's a bit light. You know, you can do like and just some go over that, it doesn't matter. Just to like, and that's just a brush stroke, blink, blink, blink.
That's nice.
You can put a green in there or a darker one, whatever you want. Or rather go out like that. If you want the round petal on the end, you go towards the middle. And if you want
a more sharp petal.
A sharper one, then you go out.
Okay.
Like that. Always odd numbers, remember?
Okay. Yeah, 3s and 5s,
Yeah.
never even. Okay.
I suppose you could do 2.
But that's also why you started with the 3 flowers on the
I
seed.
don't know, must have just done it.
Because 2 or even 4 just wouldn't give, it would be
See,
too
I've got my
balanced.
paint mixed on my brush. It doesn't matter to me because it kind of ties all that in there. So I'm putting a bit of green in some of these. Doesn't matter.
I like it. Oh, I love
You know,
it.
just a little bit
How
more
stunning is
painterly.
that?
And so we will go and we will work and work and work, and we can refine it more as you're going. But I just want to step back. It's also a good idea to step back so you can see, oh, I need something down here.
Okay, but also, do you wait for paint coats to dry in between? Or do you work wet on wet on wet? What would you recommend?
For this technique, for this specific type of painting, wet on wet is good.
Okay.
You can wait, but then you get neater edges, and so and the blending is then you got to be more precise and
So and also time-wise, this is then it's quick at Okay, so you don't need to wait.
In case no one's realized that already.
Because time is always of the essence. It's something that we have very little of.
Yeah, I'm always on to the next project and in a hurry. I don't know why. My family always just shakes their head and be like, can you slow down? My mother said I actually stood up at 9 months and just ran.
I can believe that. I can vouch for that. Oh, Sharon.
Yeah, I'm doing 6, which is actually out of character, but it's okay.
No one will count.
And that's why I'm just going to carry on doing little touches here and there and filling up, because I actually feel I need another pink one there. Because when you stand in front of the couch, it looks a little bit...
I understand what you say. Yeah, if you stand back, and that is, like you've said, you need to sometimes just remove yourself from the project and just get a clear view.
Walk away. If I'm doing portraits and I just cannot get the person, and of course a portrait is critical, you have to get the likeness. Then what I do is sometimes I even turn the reference upside down.
Okay.
Which is why I don't paint from life.
Yeah, because you can't hang the person on their feet.
You just stand on your bed.
In that case, I would never be the ideal model because I can't even do it in a swimming pool. Stand on my
And
hands.
then what I do is I walk away, and then I come back tomorrow, and then I go, oh, that's what I did wrong.
Yeah.
So
I actually love that one with just all the pinks mixed into your paintbrush. That's stunning. It is so satisfying to actually watch you do.
Don't you want to try one?
No, I won't do it to you to hold this camera. It's quite a daunting. Okay, let me move it back. And then, let me, just bear with me, everyone, because, if you see the contraption that we use, this is home DIY, but it's there to give inspiration. Okay, but you need to guide me on where the flower is needed, that I don't
have a think. Now, think, where would you put something? Obviously, I put some leaves in here. Maybe put a little one. Go over that one then. Put one of these pink in
one of these.
Sharon? Yeah. On top of that other piece.
So what you do is you start with your darkest pink first, right? Okay, so there's my darkest pink. And then I'm not going to be... I like the fact that you just twist it like this.
Yeah.
So, and just get that. And then I'm going to gradually move to my lighter colors.
And be generous with your paint. That's so most people, when they paint, they skimp. I don't know why. Just go white, whatever.
I want to have some dark behind where I'm going to do my light. I do want to
well, look at that. Perfect.
Some light.
Also, be careful of not making mud. This is for the viewers, not that you are. It's just something I thought of now.
Okay.
If you go over and over and over, you're going to make a bit of modder.
Okay.
We don't want that.
So you still want to see each individual color?
Well, kind of, yeah. If you want more definition, like as in our reference picture, actually, we will wait now till the paint is a little drier.
Yeah.
And then put a few definite strokes of petals,
Yeah.
just to refine the actual structure of the flower. But we can do that, and then
At the end.
At the end, when
More,
you post.
more of a brushy stroke.
Well, it will just be the similar stroke, but because the paint's dry, it's not going to blend. And so you're going to get a definite, color and stroke there.
I need some yellow there. What do you think?
I think it's marvelous. Well done.
I've painted a peony. Is it a peony? It's a sort of a peony.
It's whatever you want it to be.
Not peony. I love it. Oh, Sharon, this is very, very satisfying.
Yeah, it is rather.
Okay, so from here, what will the process then be?
I would wait a while for it to just settle and dry.
Okay.
Then I'm going to come back later and then just add some more brush strokes. Exactly what I've done now, but just more, so that it defines the flowers more, because you can see they're just a bit,
Okay.
they're just a bit painterly and sitting there. So I'm just going to add 1 or 2 strokes, but I just need it to dry. But you can show the finished thing on your socials.
So what we are going to do is we are going to play. If there are any tips that we need to share, I will share it with everyone so that everything makes sense. But what we are going to do is we are going to now complete it, and then we will share the final result with you with some tips that I have learned along the way. Okay. I thank you for watching. Okay, this is our Saturday DIY. Sharon, thank you. Let me hold this thing so that I can just thank you properly. Come stand here so that we can also thank you to Sharon that has devoted her Saturday time to actually help us to create a live feed. I'll stand here and just hold our ring lights in position. We appreciate it. And then for all of you that do want to create something, paint, create, donate. So the hashtag that needs to be used when you paint your own creation and donate it to cancer, use the hashtag paint. So hashtag paint, create, donate. And share that with us on our Facebook page, Tjhoko Paint, as well as on our Facebook group, Tjhoko Creations. Please tag in Tjhoko Paint, Cricket, and also the Cancer Association of South Africa. We can't wait to see your beautiful creations, and we can't wait to have you part of this beautiful initiative. Have a lovely weekend. Be creative, be safe. And if the weather is permitting, have some beautiful memories with family and friends. Keep well. Bye.